All right, everybody, welcome to MasterStack. This is, well, it's a brand new course, and we're going to be diving deep on all things SRE, site reliability engineering.
Right.
And today we're going to be, laying down the foundation. Like, what even is this SRE thing, and why should you care?
Yeah. It's a big deal,
Yeah.
especially with, how much we rely on technology these days.
Oh, yeah.
If things go down, it can be a real problem.
It's mission critical now more than ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you've probably heard, like, the classic definition, right?
Yep.
SRE is what happens when you ask a software engineer to, like, design an operations team.
Right.
It sounds simple, but it's actually a lot more nuanced than that.
It is, yeah. To really get it, we need to kind of go back in time a little bit, like all the way back to Google, early 2000s, that
Yeah.
we're dealing with this like crazy scale.
Yeah.
Billions of users, right?
Wow.
And their old way of doing operations just wasn't working anymore.
Okay, so what was the traditional approach back then?
So back in the day, you had your developers who built the software, right?
Right.
And then, like, totally separate from them, you had the sysadmins who were like, keep the servers running kind of folks.
Okay, two separate teams.
Yeah.
And I bet they had different priorities, right?
Totally. Developers always want to ship new features
Yeah.
as fast as possible.
Right.
And then operations like, whoa, 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 slow down. We need to keep things stable.
They'll break anything.
Exactly. And this caused some problems, like real problems. Google figured out that a crazy 70% of their outages were actually caused by changes to the system.
Whoa, 70%? That's a huge number.
Yeah, it's not just a statistic. It's like a major wake-up call.
Yeah, for sure. So that's when they realized, okay, we need a totally new approach.
They needed something different. Yeah, for sure.
So how did SRE try to solve this?
So what they did is they basically blurred the lines between development and operations. Instead of having these like siloed teams, you got engineers who are responsible for both building A&D, running things smoothly.
So no more, like, throwing things over the wall
Yeah,
and hoping for the best.
exactly. It's like you build it, you run it, you own it.
I like that. So that's where that, like, 50-50 split of dev and ops work comes from.
Yeah, 50% of your time coding, 50% on operations.
That sounds great in theory, but I imagine the reality is,
Well,
things break, emergencies happen.
oh, absolutely. Things happen.
Does that actually ever work out to be 50-50?
Well, it can be tough, right? But that's where another like key principle of SRE comes in.
Like, what's that?
It's called reducing toil.
Toil. What is toil?
It's not like, some fancy tech jargon. It's
Yeah.
basically like all the repetitive manual tasks that just eat up your time
Okay.
and they stop you from doing, the important stuff.
Things that actually matter, like preventing those emergencies in the first place.
Exactly.
Give me an example.
Okay, imagine you have to generate the same report every single day manually.
Ugh, sounds tedious.
Right, that's toil.
Okay.
The SRE would be like, nope, I'm going to automate that. Free up my time for the bigger picture stuff.
So it's not just about, keeping things running. It's about constantly making things better.
Incredibly proactive, not just reactive.
Love it. So based on everything we've talked about,
Yeah.
how would you, like, define SRE now?
I would say SRE it's a discipline that uses software engineering principles to build and run systems that are like super reliable.
That's a great way to put it. And we've just, like, scratched the surface here.
Yeah, we have.
In our next episode, we're going to dive deeper
Yeah.
into some of those core tenets that guide SRE.
Like error budgets, blameless postmortems.
Ooh, those sound juicy.
They are.
So stay tuned for those upcoming modules. But before you go, I want you to think about this, right?
Yeah.
How can you apply these SRE principles to your own work? Even if you're not, a software engineer.
That's a good question.
Can you find things to automate? Are there processes that could benefit from, like an error budget? Keep those questions in mind as we continue this deep dive into the world of SRE.
Looking forward to it.